And welcome back to Donington Park after the Bennetts BikeSocial Sprint Race. Starting off on the podium in third place for the Rocket BMW Motorrad team, it's Leon Haslam. Leon, a really tough race out there, warm conditions, the new track surface, but you had a great battle with Tommy, especially on the last lap, trying to get that second place. But being back on the podium is great for you and the team. How do you feel about that race?
Yeah, we have to take the podiums. Alton, I was over the moon with seconds and podiums. Today I felt frustrated because I felt like we had good pace. We got the fastest lap, but struggling to make them moves, struggling to make them passes. I did have a go on the last lap, but it was a bit of a lunge. It was from a long way back. But yeah, there's an evident area that we need to improve, just so I can fight, be able to make some easier passes. The rhythm on my own, I feel real good. We are making improvements with the bike. But yeah, I like to have a little battle at the end, and we haven't got much to fight with at the minute.
And we obviously have two races coming up tomorrow, longer distance. What do you think we can learn from today that we can take into tomorrow, and indeed what you can change to maybe give yourself that little bit extra that you need to take it to the guys ahead of you?
Yeah, we need to make some steps with the brakes. In Superpole, we lost the brake into the loop, and the whole race we was fighting with the front brake. So the boys have got some ideas for tomorrow. Donington is very demanding on brakes, but we've also had these issues at Alton and Silverstone. So yeah, a few things that we need to make a bit of a step with. And it's not just the brakes, we can change the chassis and the electronics to help with the brakes. So it's a combination. Pace-wise, we're not too far away. I think everyone's going to be struggling for grip tomorrow by the 18th, 19th lap. So a little bit of tyre management, trying to improve the brakes and see what tomorrow brings.
And back on the podium for the Beer Monster Ducati team in second place, it's Tommy Bridewell. Tommy, it seems that you've been building momentum throughout free practice here this weekend. And when it came to the race, you got a great start and had to have a bit of a battle. You had Leon behind you for most of the race. How much did you know he was going to have to make a lunge, and you came straight back at him? Talk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a strong weekend. I think obviously we've obviously having Superpole this weekend. The format slightly changed, and obviously then throwing a little bit of a spanner in the works is good for the riders and good for us that we've obviously got new tarmac at Donington. So every team and riders obviously trying to learn the tyre life. Not got a huge amount of long runs in as I would like, but I felt confident enough going into the race. So decent enough start, got away fairly clean. Dropped obviously back behind Andrew, Glenn, Christian in a few. But knew I had the pace, knew I needed to make the passes early. And kind of got up through to second. Leon made a mistake, sort of spun up a bit out the hairpin early in the race. And I kind of knew the way BSB is now, you kind of can't sit there. You kind of, if there's an opportunity, you need to pounce on it straight away, whether it's lap one, whether it's the last lap. So yeah, it was a good clean race. To be honest, I sat in second. Honest to God, I was pushing really absolutely everything, so precise with my riding to try and edge a little bit back on Carl, but he just didn't give me any opportunity. And to be fair, I was under a mass amount of pressure from Leon because I had +0 on my pit board the whole race. So I knew I couldn't make a mistake to drop back, but I'm also then trying to be fast and precise to catch Carl. So it was a good target to have. He set a mega pace out the front, and to be honest, I just couldn't quite get on him. But I think the longer distance, yeah, 8 extra laps tomorrow, I think will help us. Like Leon said then, a little bit of tyre management will come in effect for definite. But hey, at this time of the year, I always take a podium. We all want to win, and that's the goal. But at the end of the day, we're leading the championship. We're on our third round now, and the team and myself are just moulding and growing every weekend in truth. So yeah, no, I feel really good and really strong.
Yeah, just 1 point between you and teammate Glenn Irwin now ahead of the 2 races tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's the Milwaukee Spring Grand Slam over. The 10 grand has gone.
Am I going to diesel up my truck to get home?
But tomorrow you're looking forward to the longer races?
Yes, yeah. I think genuinely you as a racer, you see 12 laps and you're like, right, sod the tyre, just absolutely balls to the wall, let's say. So with 8 extra laps, you have to go off, set a strong pace to start with, and then settle in the race, settle with smoother throttle in everything, and then the race will develop from there. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it plans out. It's going to be tough. Honestly, it's going to be tough. The new tarmac's great to ride, but again, thrown a few spanners in the works. But I'm sure all the teams, and especially the Beer Monster PBM Ducati team, will really fine tune it for tomorrow.
And taking his second victory of the season for the Lamy OMG Racing Yamaha team. It's Kyle Rudd. Kyle, you've had the perfect day today. You had your first pole position in Omologato Super Pole. You followed it up with an inch perfect race there, leading from the start, bridging a bit of a gap. Talk us through the race, and obviously you had a gap for most of the race, but were you concerned perhaps towards the end that they might come back to you?
A very difficult race. I knew what pace I could do, and it was good that I did exactly what I thought I could do. So, yeah, the bike worked great. I did the lap time I knew I could have done consistently. And yeah, my pit board still was saying 0.3, 0.4, so fair play to everyone, because I think they made a big step. Cause on paper, I felt like I was a little bit quicker, and obviously they matched it in that race. So, yeah, it was very difficult. I was really good in the last two sectors, which I knew I have been all weekend, and that was a good factor to have, because that's where you make all the passing. So, yeah, perfect day, like you said, pole position, followed it up with a win, and yeah, can't wait for tomorrow.
And we spoke earlier about how this season you feel like you've had a better start than ever before. You had the win at Silverstone, you had the podium that you said felt better than the win, in fact, at Alton Park. How much did the win today mean to you?
Yeah, I put so much pressure on myself all weekend. It's always like that when you're fast. When you know you're fast in FP1, you expect big things. So, yeah, I'm just glad that I've took all the pressure. Obviously, being last in Super Pole was a lot of pressure to say that I've never done it, and I put it on pole, and then the same thing to back it up in the race in front of all my family and stuff. It's a great achievement for me, myself.
And looking to tomorrow, the races are obviously of longer distance, and Leon and Tommy both reflected on how it's going to be a bit more strategic with the plan of the race tomorrow. How would you look at it from your perspective, and have you done anything similar distance so far this weekend?
Yeah, the tyre that I just used then, I've done about 18 laps on that, and it wasn't too bad. So I'll be running the same tyres again. Like Tommy said, you can ride a little bit different. You can still do the same lap time. You just have to conserve the tyre a little bit and use the front a little bit more. So, yeah, like they said, it'll be strategic, but we'll see where we end up tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be all right.
That's great. Thank you, Kyle.